Let me quickly open this up. Sumit Peer, how do you think is playing out? What have your reassessed figures come down to? What are we going to expect at the bottom of our screen very shortly?
I think Rishabh ji, good morning. Thanks for having me on your show. I think it's going to be over by 11:30, 12. It will be NDA sweep. BJP will be somewhere around doing 330, 335, and NDA anything around 370 to 400. 400 par is something which is on the cards, which is in likelihood of going to happen. We don't see a lot of surprises, and this is more about what the exit polls have predicted, and what our poll had predicted, that is the number. And you know, it's all likelihood that's from 370 to 400, somewhere between that the number could stand. And what Rishabh ji you said lastly, you were right, because last two elections, whatever the poll of polls has given BJP has done 20% more. So going by that logic, you would say 10% more. So you are hitting somewhere around 400.
So you're still erring on the other side of it, Mr. But what are you still also erring on the upside, not on the downside, because the exit polls have been very generous?
Yes. I'm going on the upside. Basically, you know, add 10% to the exit polls.
Correct.
That is what been happening. That is what has been happening, you know, 14, 19. If you see the figures, you will ultimately come down to that.
Correct.
And basically, no pollster, Rishabh, wants to be proved wrong. It's not that wish. It's not assumptions. He always wants to be correct. And that's why, you know, he becomes cautious. And when he becomes conscious, he goes downsize.
Okay.
That is the psychology.
But it is inherently unpredictable, ladies and gentlemen. I've been doing this for a long time. It is inherently unpredictable. Some seats, even in the Lok Sabha, boil down to the few hundreds and the few thousands, and they can become difficult. But a trend is generally set. And with every day that has passed, every feedback that one has gotten, including from the politicians themselves, seems to be indicating on a regular basis that the BJP's position has been strengthening. It all doesn't matter anymore, because we're going to know in a couple of hours. Mr. Abbas, has your thought process refined itself? Because where you're sitting in Bengaluru right now, I am told pretty reliably, even from within the Congress, that they are not expecting a miracle in Karnataka. A dramatic improvement, because they only had one last time, but not more than 10 or 12. And then that's going to be difficult to make up elsewhere.
Well, Rishabh Sahab, I think Mirza Ghalib has beautifully summarized the opposition today. I'd like to start this beautiful day, the largest festival of democracy of our beautiful country of India, with a शायरी of Mirza Ghalib. हमको मालूम है जन्नत की हकीकत, लेकिन दिल के बहलाने को गालिब ये ख्याल अच्छा है. Undoubtedly, you're right. Most of the parties have known which way the trend is setting in. हवा किस तरफ है, हवा का रुख कहाँ है. But nevertheless, like the beautiful saying goes, exit polls are not exact polls. Of course, we know the trends, but today, the 4th of June 2024 is going to be absolutely historic, and undoubtedly, आज हो जाएगा दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी. I think it will be cut down to the brass tacks, and I also agree with my friend Sumit Peer here. I think by about 12, we will rise to our own victory or a defeat. Let's see. But all in all, I think 600 plus million Indians going out there and voting, I think that is a victory of the mandate. And I would say both the NDA and the India alliance, what the result would be, I think we should accept it with a pinch of salt. And of course, in all likelihood, if India is not making it, accept their defeat and go ahead and look forward to come back better. And if India is going to make the magical cut, 400 par, well, I would be equally excited to see how they are going to really bring in this 400 par.
Okay, I thought you were going to begin with. I thought you'll begin with Hunu's Dilli Durast, and that seems to be what might just happen. But ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this for long enough, with enough grey hair, to tell you that it is inherently unpredictable. Okay, anything can happen. And and for politicians, what can go wrong often does go wrong, and it doesn't make a difference what those politicians are. Is this the era of Narendra Modi's domination of Indian politics? Absolutely it is. Is he at the peak of his political scope? Absolutely it is. Is it all about Narendra Modi? Absolutely it is. And is that a force that perhaps is too much for the combined opposition to take on? Very, very likely. So we know that this is a pulse of the country, and by this evening, it will have been settled. It has been, as all elections are, a little bit toxic, but it has been pretty free and fair. We've not seen repolling in many places. And ladies and gentlemen, fundamentally, most importantly, we haven't seen too much violence in many places. Okay, let me open this up to get a perspective in, because the elections are crucial not only for the people who want to form a government and are expecting to get 270 by themselves, even those who want to get a few seats to prove a point. Abhinandita Mathur, how's it going, ma'am? Delhi, Punjab is where the stakes are. In Delhi, you're up against the BJP, but your hope in Punjab is to defeat the Congress. How's it looking in Punjab this morning to you?
Hi. More importantly, I think that today is a very significant day, not just for the Aam Aadmi Party. Of course, as we know, for Aam Aadmi Party, it's all gain from here. But having said that, I think that today is actually, more seriously, it's an important day because we're hoping that, the people of this country are rejecting the autocratic rule of the BJP, Mr. Narendra Modi, and hopefully the opposition has actually, despite all the challenges put on it, have actually given up a good tight fight to the BJP. I think that we are in a good place. Let's see how it goes. But there are two things that came out, from our experience of this election. One is, which is important, that the entire country saw how two chief ministers were jailed just before the elections, and the other, of course, as the Prime Minister refused absolutely to talk about the problems that matter to the people. He did not utter a word about jobs. He did not utter a word about inflation. He did not utter a word about Manipur. There are so many problems in this country. But Mr. Prime Minister was, on another trip, and I think the people of this country will see this.
Okay, but you said autocratic dictator Tanashah through the entire course of the campaign. If Narendra Modi wins crores of votes today, will you still call him autocrat dictator in a few hours?
I think that regardless of what the results are, the way, the direction that Mr. Modi has taken the country, I don't think there is anything
democracy doesn't matter to you?
Sides. So I would wait for the results to comment on that.
Okay, the results could be, ladies and gentlemen, if any party has been on the rise in the past 10 years, other than the BJP, it's been the Aam Aadmi Party, okay? The BJP has grabbed all the headlines, but the past 10 years have also been the story of the complete emergence of the Aam Aadmi Party from zero to a government in two states. And Arvind Kejriwal, whether you like him or not, vote for him or not, is definitely a recognizable figure in national politics. And the Aam Aadmi Party has huge challenges, of course, in front of it. But all of those gains have been done in the disfavor of the Congress party. Remember, the case against Arvind Kejriwal in the liquor case was actually filed by the Congress party, not the BJP. And those ironies will never be lost on us. But within all of this, remember also that Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi have come in public, Robert Vadra have come in publicly said that yes, we voted Aam Aadmi Party. But of course, when you ask them about the performance of the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab, it's a completely different story. And that's how it remains. Okay, let's open this up to substantive things. Himanshu, but at the end of this evening, okay, if a Narendra Modi gets it, and there's still an if, because now we'll know in a few hours, but if he gets a mandate, does it silence a lot of people? What, for example, happens to an Arvind Kejriwal? Because I'll reverse the question. In the MCD elections, liquor gate has already started. His ministers are already being arrested. But people are still voting Aam Aadmi Party. They're not convinced that he's corrupt.
Yes. See, there's a basic difference of today's elections and maybe 20 years ago. I would say that it's the maturity of an Indian voter. He sees where he benefits. As far as the national is concerned, he is very clear about his security. And there, he will not vote for Aam Aadmi Party when Narendra Modi is available. But in a state election where he wants freebies, I'm categorical today morning. When he wants freebies, when he wants everything, free bijli, free pani, and he goes on, promising that. With the 23 seats at a stake for him, he promises 543 seats people that he will give 200 units of bijli free if he comes back to power.
No, but 200 units of bijli, I mean, come on, let's be practical also. Giving away 1 lakh per person to women, it's impractical, because if you give 1 lakh rupees to 1 crore women being less than, just about 1.5% of the women in the country, that's 1 lakh crore.
Yes.
You start hitting into percentage of the education budget, percentage of the health budget. The overall budget, ladies and gentlemen, of the Indian Exchequer varies between about 35 to 40 lakh crores, okay? So, yes, but politicians do make promises, and Sumit Peer, we have to accept politicians do make promises. But what in the end has worked because the BJP, 60% of its candidates were new. Let's face it, the country has a long way to go. So what in the end, if Narendra Modi is still winging it, what in the end is working for the Bharatiya Janata Party?
I think, Rishabh, what is working for the Bharatiya Janata Party is the image of the Prime Minister, is the track record of the Prime Minister, is the vision of the Prime Minister, is the acceptance of the Prime Minister. It is the Modi factor, the Modi magic, whatever you want to call it, that still works. There are people who are throwing cash, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, taka, tak, khata, khat. And here, there's Prime Minister Modi saying, Modi ki guarantee. No cash. No freebies, no free Bijli Pani. And this free Bijli Pani model does not get traction in any other state. When they go with the same model to UP, they lose deposit in all the seats, 99% of the seats. So this Delhi phenomena is born in Delhi and will end in Delhi, because if we go by the exit polls, Rishabh, if Aam Aadmi Party ends up getting 3 seats nationally or maybe 5, then what kind of a national leader are we talking? What kind of a national leadership are we talking about?
Can I come in on this?
But there's a problem. Sayed, I'm just coming to you a second. But Sumit, there is a problem, right? The problem is because tomorrow governance starts again. Okay, elections are finished.
Correct.
And the priority number one agenda, number one concern, number one issue for the Aam Aadmi Party is obviously the fate of Arvind Kejriwal.
Correct.
Okay, obviously is the fate. Yeah. I mean, the top ministers, I mean, the top leadership. How can then we expect that a further war, that if the BJP is saying no, that people of Delhi might have voted for us in the center, but until you vote for us in the state, there will be a loggerhead, and the Aam Aadmi Party feels the same way. These are going to return as problems tomorrow.
Rishabh, the Aam Aadmi Party works around the central fulcrum or the pillar of Arvind Kejriwal. Now, if you see from MCD elections to today, the repute of Mr. Kejriwal has depleted. It's not the same. Though he tried a lot of gimmicks, a lot of press conferences, a lot of emotional talk. But that doesn't seem to cut ice. Mr. Kejriwal saying, Modi ji ne mujhe isliye jail mein dala, otherwise I could have won the election for India Alliance. Now, he was out for 21 days. He was campaigning all over. Now, if he ends up with 3 seats again, then what kind of a aura are we talking about? What kind of a leader are we talking about? Then people are not resonating.
3 seats, he'll be one of the leading parties of the opposition, because the state of the opposition is not good. 3 seats is worth its weight in gold. Mr. Abbas wants to make an interjection and I have a question for you. Syed, go ahead.
Yes, a couple of things. Himanshu ji spoke about Delhi. The fact is, I've always believed, Rishabh Saab, it's not just Dilwalon ki Delhi, it's also Dimag Walon ki Delhi. Undoubtedly, over the last 2 terms, they've consecutively voted for Modi ji, 7 on 7, 2014, 2019, 7 on 7 seats going there. But the same Delhi, over the last 2 times, has given a majority mandate. So it's a very interesting pattern that we see. And also, as a matter of fact, the government schools, Bijli, electricity, all that have really worked and clocked with the Delhi people. And the fact of the matter is, the Bharatiya Janata Party, the mightiest party, democratic party in the world, hasn't been able to beat the Aam Aadmi Party and its schemes in Delhi. And also, my friend Sumit Peer mentioned about all of that.
But Syed, what are the Aam Aadmi Party schemes in Delhi? Because you're an intelligent person. Okay, after a point you're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. There is no thing as a freebie, right?
Correct.
So
hospitals.
The truth is that for the middle class, okay, electricity bills have substantially gone up. If you ask the Aam Aadmi Party, they say because the LG is not allowing us to do an inspection and this problem, that problem. Every morning I get out of my house and there's the Delhi Transport Corporation bus and I don't have a long way. I just have a couple of kilometers drive to office, okay, to our studios. And just in those 2 kilometers, there's a DTC bus parked on the roads because those DTC buses were bought by Sheila Dikshit in the mid-2000s. Okay, we can't drive 15-year-old cars, but there are 15-year-old DTC buses running in this country despite the electrification drive. So there are fundamental problems here. I mean, nobody speaks about the middle class and their electricity bills. How is that fair?
But the same middle class have equally and with a large percentage and gone out and voted for Arvind Kejriwal, for the hospitals, for the schools, Mohalla Clinic. He has undoubtedly done revolutionized work there. Not just that. Sumit Peer mentioned about various things about Modi ji, but respected sir, 2 crore jobs every year over the last 10 years, 20 crore jobs. Where are the 20 crore jobs is asking? Inflation.
We are all going to have to
face.
It is an issue, okay, but India is becoming a wealthy country. If you now go to the bazaars and the shopping markets, if you see on the streets in the metropolitan capitals, there are cars on the roads. People are buying cars. People are spending monies. That's a happy thing, but growth is not a straight line, progress is not necessarily a straight line. I have one more question, Sumit, for Syed Abbas. Mr. Abbas, in the end, in the south of this country, we'll have to wait to see, because the Congress is definitely going to improve its performance in Karnataka. It might not be a game-changing improvement, but it's going to be an improvement. but the BJP just might, Annamalaim just might win today. Who knows, they might get a seat in Kerala. Has that misnomer been broken that the BJP can only be a North Indian party? Is it finally over?
Well, honestly, they have a long way to go, Rishabh Saab. Let's speak of Karnataka. Karnataka, 25 seats on 28 in the year 2019 was won by the Bharatiya Janata Party. And this time they are bound to lose on every exit poll. 3 to 5 seats they are going to lose. So their number at tops is about 20. Whereas Congress, from one of DK Suresh in Bengaluru rural, they are going to gain about 3 to 5 or could be more because of the pro-incumbency of the state here with Annabhagya, Gruha Jyoti, Gruha Lakshmi, Yuva Nidhi, Nari Shakti in Karnataka. Not just that, Kerala, I would give it a 0. And I do believe Shashi Tharoor is winning. I definitely stretch out my neck and give you that part. And
yeah, we'll find out. Shashi Tharoor versus Rajiv Chandrasekhar.
Yes,
it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. The result is going to be good either way. I'm hoping that one of them, either whoever wins or loses, sits with us. But then Rajiv gets another 5 years to go and nurse that constituency. And trust me, he is a formidable force to take on Shashi Tharoor if they put their minds in. Abhinandita Mathur, I mean, ma'am, let me ask you now a straightforward question. Why did you get into politics and why did you choose the Aam Aadmi Party?
Well, I'll come to that, but I was listening to the discussion earlier and, I was amused when somebody said that Aam Aadmi Party has has not given anything to Delhi, or why should people in Delhi vote? There is more to, there's much more to the Aam Aadmi Party than how the media tries to project it at times. Look, within 12 years, we've actually gone a long way. We've come a long way. We have, MLAs in Gujarat, we have MLAs in Goa, we have, governments in 2 states, we have the MCD in Delhi now, we have lots of elected members in panchayats and, councillors all over the country. The kind of imagination or vision that Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia ji and all these people brought to the Indian politics, I think that itself is, a huge indicator of where we need to.
But Ms. Mathur, are you feeling? I mean, let's be realistic also, right? The realism is that it's an honest question, because obviously the single most important thing on your minds right now, practically, is the fact that the tallest, the most important person in the Aam Aadmi Party is currently back in jail. But the truth also is, ma'am, that in the past 10 years, we've not seen many convictions. I mean, what is the conviction rate of senior politicians? Other than Lalu, we can't think of anyone. So are you thinking that once the elections do go away and these cases go on for 10, 15 years, you of course think that there is absolute innocence, anyway the cases are difficult to prove, and politics as usual will continue, and it's not like Arvind Kejriwal is going to remain in jail forever?
Well, I think that what Mr. Modi has tried to do is actually really, strangulate the Aam Aadmi Party and literally actually jail all our leaders, put us in a very hopeless position. But the truth is that, despite the fact that we've gotten through so many challenges, there is, if it is a game of nerves, let me put it like this, if it is a game of nerves, then I don't think Mr. Modi can defeat Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. I think the Aam Aadmi Party is very, very, very committed. And as you've seen, first Manish Sisodia ji went, Satinder Jain ji went, and everybody is quick to write off the Aam Aadmi Party. But like you've seen, we have a very, very committed first year.
No, let's not write off anyone, because I've seen Kani Modi go to jail and return to parliament, and A. Raja go to jail and return to parliament. So we've seen all of this happen. But let me get Sumit into this. Sumit, we'll have to talk about some bottom lines, right? Yeah. The bottom line is the conviction rate, nothing, 2G, CWG, coal scam, this scam, that scam. I mean, Pawan Bansal was back contesting this time around. The conversations happen. In the end, Arvind Kejriwal, I mean, it's a matter of time. Bail is a right?
Yeah.
So eventually, once this is an investigation, not even a trial. So eventually, he does get out and politics resumes.
I think, Rishabh ji, the challenge with Mr. Kejriwal is that at least there are alleged 6 or 7 scams which we are talking about. So even if you get out from one, there'll be second, there'll be third, there'll be fourth and all. Then you have CBI, you have NIA and your ED investigating you and the economic offences wing. So if you put all together, you will be doing every day Tariq pe Tariq, Tariq pe Tariq, Tariq pe Tariq. So if you're busy with Tariq pe Tariq pe Tariq, when are you going to do your politics? And the party...
All politics, I mean, come on, Tejasvi, Misa, Lalu... They've been, I mean, Lalu's go to jail, his wife is running the state. I mean, the politicians do manage.
But you see, after Lalu went to jail and all, now the power has slipped out from them. And the perception battle, what Kejriwal ji is losing is the perception battle. That image of Kattar Imandar and above the holier than the thou, that is no longer there.
Okay, perception battle does matter. Perception. Abhinandan, hang a second, I want to get Sayyid in first. I'm coming straight to you.
But perception on the ground is that BJP is the best washing machine in town to come on. That is perception on the ground.
But Abhinandan, what about your washing machine? I mean,
will you win all 23 seats then?
I mean,
the perception on the ground.
Abhinandan, Lalu Prasad Yadav, you're sitting with him. You spent your entire campaigning against the UPA's corruption. I mean, how can you say that you also don't have a washing machine or a very convenient memory?
Sheila Dikshit ki 355.
There is a difference between a three-pole alliance of this kind and the kind of alliances that the BJP does, buying and selling of MLAs.
No, when you say मैं कसम खाता हूँ that these people are criminals and never ally with them, and then you say no, now it's a national interest. It cuts, politics cuts both ways. It's not like that you are also completely doodh ka dula when it comes to consistency and lack of hypocrisy.
There is a difference. We are not taking away cases, like what happens in the BJP washing machine is different because BJP is the government in the center. I mean, so obviously we are not saying कि आज हमारे साथ join कर लो नहीं तो कल हम आपके ऊपर ED छोड़ देंगे या आपकी सरकार गिरा देंगे, आपकी पार्टी का symbol छीन लेंगे. I mean, look at the kind of vendetta that the BJP has done, and they are.
Yeah, I mean, look at the kind of. I mean, I think you need to have a chat with Jagan Reddy. He'll tell you what he feels about UPA's vendetta.
Well, or Sharath Reddy.
Yeah, I think Jagan Reddy will say that he had 35 cases of the ED and CBI were under the UPA regime. That he spent months in jail, all because he wanted to aspire to replace his father in politics. So it cuts both ways. Okay, let me get Mr. Abbas into this con. Mr. Abbas.
Yes.
It does cut both ways. Let's be reasonable here, okay? For all the ironies and hypocrisy which is accused on the BJP, the same ironies and hypocrisies also smack everyone else. Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party are no exceptions.
Absolutely, Rishabh Saab. The fact of the matter, Pradhan Mantri Modi ji, I remember he called the NCP as a naturally corrupt party. And today, Ajit Pawar, the same Ajit Pawar which Devendra Fadnavis ji said chakki piecing when they come into power, today is an ally of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Not just that, over the last 10 years, 95% of the ED cases are against the opposition. Not just that, last 10 years, 25 of the brushed corrupt netas of the opposition have jumped ship to the Bharatiya Janata Party. The fact we need to understand, Himanta Biswa Sarma, Suvendu Adhikari, Janardhan Reddy, and of course Ajit Pawar and the Eknath Shinde faction and several other list of leaders who are brushed, corrupt, alleged corrupt ministers.
No. So like I said, it cuts both ways. To say that Lalu Prasad Yadav is not corrupt is factually incorrect because he's been convicted of corruption.
He's convicted.
He's a person convicted of corruption, the only one. And let's face it, they've been doing Chai Pe Charcha together. Maybe he's reformed.
But
maybe his time in jail has made him reform. Who knows? It could have happened. But in a practical sense, Mr. Abbas, 25 years, Narendra Modi, Chief Minister, now 10 years Prime Minister. Do you think he's running a Swiss account somewhere with billions stashed away?
I certainly do not think so, Rishabh Saab. But what I think is, Bharatiya Janata Party is a party with a difference. No doubt we've seen several scams like 2G and so on and so forth. Whereas A. Raja and Kanimoji were acquitted completely. They have cleared and they are back to their political careers. Also, the fact is, BJP claiming to be a party with a difference is now taking the same brush netas. We cannot deny the fact that people of India are raising questions on CBI, ED, IT and how it's being functioned to attack the opposition parties.
Okay, it might be, but also the truism is that when it came to the Aam Aadmi Party, which is entire premise, I remember going to Constitution Club, going to Parliament Street. I mean, we were all there when this was happening. Arvind Kejriwal was our hope, and the media does not treat Arvind Kejriwal badly. It treats Arvind Kejriwal well. And it should treat him well. He has been a force in Indian politics. The last 10 years, as I just said, It's been the era of Narendra Modi, but the other stories have been about the rise of Arvind Kejriwal, okay, the resurgence of the DMK, the resolution of Mamata Banerjee, the decline of Mayawati, the decline of the Congress, and of course, a reconsolidation towards national parties away from coalition forces. This has been the trend of the last 10 years. Priya Saigal joining us this morning. Priya, let me ask you the first obvious question. Now, how do you think? What kind of feedback are you getting? How's it looking? Who's more nervous this morning?
I think the Congress is really nervous. I don't think the BJP is nervous, apart from the fact that they are expecting the usual, what you may call it, the numbers. They are expecting either whether with BJP it's just a numbers game. With the Congress, I think, Rishabh, it is more a question of how many seats will they get. Will Rahul Gandhi be able to at least not go back? If you look at the benchmark is very different. For the BJP, it's a question of crossing 272. With the Congress, it's a question of crossing 100, and they are nowhere near it from whatever. Even their own estimates, though I'm told the Congress yesterday did a survey and they came up with 106. Forget what they said about 295 or 225, whatever they said. But even that number, when you speak privately to people, a lot hinges on whether BJP sweeps Odisha, as the polls say. A lot depends on the West Bengal figures. A lot depends on UP and Karnataka. For the Congress, Karnataka is very crucial. Our polls, opinion polls, are saying that the BJP is retaining its lead in Karnataka, and the Congress has just managed to reach about 5 to 7 seats. Now, if that happens, then the Congress, their plans for growth is really stemmed. In Uttar Pradesh, the Congress is hoping at least 5 seats. They are probably getting, we are going by the polls, they're getting 1 or 2. So, looking at the polls, there was a bit of a reality check. We had Rahul Gandhi even snapping at the Chief Minister of Karnataka yesterday during a Zoom meeting when he walked in, and Siddaramaiah said, I'm expecting 15 to 16 seats. And I believe Kharge turned around and said, are these your IB figures? Whose figures are they? He said, no, these are my figures. IB says 10. So then Rahul Gandhi apparently turned around and said, if that is the case, you get 15, 16, I will come personally to Karnataka and garland you. So, there is tension, there is, leaders at stake, a lot of regional, the issue is Rishabh fingers won't be really pointed at Rahul, but every regional leader here is also at stake, whether it is DK Shiv Kumar, Telangana CM, Karnataka CM, Sachin Pilot has been given charge of Chhattisgarh. So, all Congress leaders have been given charge of various states, and the other question is that even Tejasvi Yadav and Akhilesh Yadav has not been able to make a dent. So the impact on opposition politics is going to be huge. We know what's going to happen with Prime Minister Modi. He knows what's going to happen. He's got his agenda ready. What is going to be happening within the opposition is going to be a huge churn if these figures hold.
Yeah, it becomes chaotic. And if there is a victory and a thumping one for the Bharatiya Janata Party, one nation, one election might just become a reality check. It might just happen.
Yeah.
That fundamentally changes the nature in which political party calculations are done. It doesn't change the nature of politics, doesn't change the nature of voting in principle, but it changes the nature, because Andhra and Odisha have voted also. And those results, ladies and gentlemen, top of your screens, Andhra and Odisha. There on the right of your screens, you're going to see the state by state Lok Sabha, and at the bottom of your screens where you say BJP NDA 1, that's the one seat in Surat which has already been declared. So the game is over there. But Priya, in a very practical sense, okay, we often conflate this, that if a Narendra Modi wins, we wonder why the Congress lost, and the BJP says, why don't you wonder about how we won? Okay, what is Narendra Modi still doing well?
There are enough columnists, enough people who are going to be telling us what Narendra Modi is doing well. There's no, whether you talk about, if you say who is the winner of this election, I think in terms of the BJP, it is the welfarenomics, whether it is Modi ki guarantee, whatever name you want to give it, but it is his welfare plank that has really worked. It's reached every household, it's reached, not just the women in the household. I was talking to some people, we do our chai pe charcha in Sharma ji ka dukan in Lucknow, and I was talking to the seniors, and when young kid comes to me and he starts saying, "Jeetega to Modi hi," because I asked him, why do you say that? He said, Modi ration dete hai. So even the kids at home, the young kids, his schemes have reached voters of 2047. He's already made plans for that.
So has he found the balance right, Himanshu Bhatt? Has a Narendra Modi found the balance right, that you have to build the unicorns? Okay, this very Bernie Sanders, I'm sure via Sam Pitroda argument of this 1% and bash the industrialists isn't panning out, because the poor people are saying, yes, we've got our just dues as well.
Well, I would use the term capitalistic welfareism. That is what Modi is working on. a capitalistic welfareism where, the delivery is to the last man on one side. On the other side, the encouragement to build up a unicorn, which ultimately will transfer a certain amount of wealth through the employment generation. And we have been talking a lot about unemployment, but here, what are we talking about? Self-employment? People have been questioning, Modi has not given jobs, but then how many self-sustained jobs has he given?
No. So we don't know, right? If as long as the majority of the country remains in an unorganized sector, you can keep debating jobs.
Yes.
The truth is, obviously, jobs is a problem because the rate of the population growth turning 18 is happening at the largest scale ever in the history of humanity. Okay, let's not kid ourselves. The demographic opportunity is also the biggest demographic challenge. So are people upset versus are people out on the streets in a mass riot because devastation is plaguing the Indian economy? Let's be practical. The truth is somewhere in between. We need more jobs, and unless you have 10% GDP growth, those jobs are not going to come. Government jobs is not the answer. But Sumit Peer, that's the reality check. Who are the top employers in the country? The Indian Railways, the Indian Armed Forces, the central government, the state governments combined. This is still the truth of the country. What do we do about it?
Rishabh ji, if you go by economics, the definition of a job is opportunity to earn, rozgar ke avsar. Like, I don't have a job, I pay my tax, I don't think Himanshu has a job, he pays our tax. So are we perpetually unemployed? I don't know Abbas has a job or not, I think he's also perpetually unemployed like us. So how do you classify people like us? I don't know, none of three of us has a job. But when we are earning and we are paying tax, that is an opportunity to earn.
Okay, let me ask Mr. Abbas. Mr. Abbas, did you look at the MLA perks and the MLA salary before you decided to contest? Was it a big draw for you?
Absolutely not, Rishabh Saab. As a matter of fact, when you enter public service, it should certainly be for the service of the larger public good, and that is what politics is all about, being a servant to the people. As a matter of fact, I'm sure even the Pradhan Mantri, the salary is just about 2 lakh, and MLA will come much, much below that, or even for a member of parliament. I think the intent should be the larger good of the people. Also, I do not agree with the definition of job given by my good friend Sumit Peer here. What was promised from BJP, there is a quote of Modi ji, 2 crore jobs every year. As per that 20 crore jobs, the Bharatiya Janata Party till date has not been able to give that. But the fact is, yes, like you said, Rishabh Saab, there are the goods and the bads. Let me tell you, I am testimony to the good of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Ayushman Bharat scheme has worked wonderful for the BPL line holders, at least what I have seen through my eyes here in Karnataka. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has really worked for the people. Ghar Ghar Shauchalaya has worked. Crores of Shauchalaya.
So Sayyid, do we give credit at least to the Prime Minister? And we asked him this question, that at least in the 25 years, 15 years plus as CM, 10 years as PM, he's never discriminated against anyone. Okay, when he's giving the house, when he's giving the Awas, so do we give him credit that when he said Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, he meant it?
Absolutely, sir. Rishabh Saab, as a matter of fact, I've been many a times defending the opposition, but on this front, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Ayushman Bharat scheme, Ghar Ghar Shauchalaya, and many of the Labharti schemes which have done well, benefited the people.
Okay.
It has not seen Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai. It has been largely length and breadth of India. It has been for the larger good of the Indians. Not just that, Ujjwala scheme too. So these are the beneficiaries, and this has really worked for Modi factor.
Okay.
Undoubtedly, there is a Modi wave, but these schemes have worked as a large.
I'm going to come and look at this state by state because the battles still lie in the states. There is always mathematics. Is for the BJP, is for the Congress, is for everybody else. But before that, Priya, just let me rope this in. In a situation where the election has concludes, how much of a difference does it really make that the BJP performance and the NDA performance, that the BJP by itself gets 272 plus?
No, it is really imperative for the BJP and for the Prime Minister to get 272. Otherwise, you would have a weaker Modi, and Prime Minister Modi's whole strength of his campaign and his governance has been that he has an outright majority. So if he has to depend on anybody, any ally, his whole governance model will go for a toss. He's used to being a one-man, one-center specific rule governance. Whatever you may say, the allies are just there for the trimmings. Half the time he drops them and there's a cabinet without any allies also. So I think that would be a whole different change. Again, it is a BJP government, whatever you may call it on paper NDA, but it has been a very BJP specific and a Modi specific government. Even the RSS has really been somewhere in the background. It's been him and Amit Shah taking most of the decisions. So if he doesn't get 272, then I mean, he will definitely still be Prime Minister. Even with 260, 240, I don't see anybody replacing Modi as Prime Minister. But will he be able to carry on with his schemes? Will he be able to carry on with his blueprint of the 100 days, 300 days, whatever he has in mind? That will be a question, because he is not someone who's really used to taking a consensus or confabulations. He knows what he wants to do and he goes ahead and does it in his own way. Ministers are informed of it afterwards, whether it's a Rajnath Singh or a Arun Jaitley or a any of the ministers. All the important decisions of this cabinet were taken post facto, were informed post facto ministers. So his whole governance model will change, in that sense. So I don't see,
Okay, does it matter? Alliance numbers to party numbers, Sumit.
Rishabh ji, it will be, I agree with Priya ji, it will be very important for Prime Minister Modi to secure the majority, which he will, because that is his way of governance, that is how Modi ji functions. He takes the alliance with him because he doesn't need the alliance, but in the spirit of cooperation, he takes allies with him. But Modi ji's style is, this is how it is to be done, and this is what my vision is, and everybody has to fall in line. There are no second options, because when it comes to his style of working, not taking a chutti for 22 years and 24 into 7 into 365-day man, so there are a lot of people who might not like his way of governance and way of functioning, but that is what Modi ji is, that is the way how he is able to deliver, and that is why Modi, there's a cult, there's a Modi cult, is because of that impeccable, tireless track record of delivery, wherein it's always nation first and always first.
Okay, so he's hammering home, but Himanshu, but okay, now let's look at the allies then, okay? Who are the allies? Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar, what are we expecting them to do?
Well, I do expect a few things. Well, let me let the cat out of the bag, but I have a very great feeling that Nitish Kumar is coming back to the center. That's going to happen. That's going to happen.
But is that promoted to obsolescence? What is going on then?
Basically that, because what will happen is he needs to be removed out of Bihar for BJP to take charge, and that will happen only if Nitish Kumar comes to center with a portfolio which may not bear that much of significance.
Okay, so Nitish Kumar gets a promotion. Basically, then you are saying the government in Bihar flips with the BJP taking on the chief minister's position, portfolio, which would be for the pretty much for the first time for them, and that will make an impact. What about does it make a difference in Andhra? Which way it goes? Because Chandrababu Naidu is the ally. People are saying he's doing better, but who knows?
Chandrababu Naidu is for Andhra Pradesh. He would stick on with the Andhra Pradesh if they win in the assembly.
If they win, then he's going to be chief minister. He's not coming to the center, but he'll have a few ministers at the center.
But then, if he doesn't win, for BJP, it's never a lose-lose situation in Andhra Pradesh. Because the other side also has been supporting. Jagan has been supporting.
But what has Jagan been doing? What is this entire thing between him and his sister? Because nobody's buying it. Everybody thinks that Jagan is trying to have a foot in both camps because he has fundamental problems. The cases that the Congress filed on him, okay?
Yes.
And that's why he started the Padyatra. So he can't ally with the Congress. But so people say, okay, so he sent his sister there.
He sent his sister there. That somewhere down the line, I have a very great feeling that this Parivarvad has gone a bit too long in every state of this country, where a family doesn't want to lose hold of the power. And this is very much evident. If you see, state by state, you will find someone or else. Some people might be with the capabilities. Some people might have come the right way by grinding their, what we call, I won't use that word, but by grinding their legs among the people. But then in every state, either it's son, daughter, bhatija, whatnot.
Okay.
Bhanja, whatnot.
Okay, I want to touch upon this, Sumit. Syed, coming to you in just a second. Sumit, Uttar Pradesh, okay? Now, the politics of Uttar Pradesh has seen the domination of the Bharatiya Janata Party at state and center for 10 long years.
Right.
We are now seeing the decimation to maybe, I think this one is not a easily recoverable one of the Bahujan Samaj Party. Okay, so the decimation of the Congress has already happened. Jayant and Apna Dal have a small presence. Let's be realistic, one or two seats each. Okay, So now it's Yogi versus Akhilesh. Akhilesh will probably win a few seats this time around, and he's the only other relevant political force. The biggest state reduced to just two relevant political forces.
I think I will say 1.75 and 0.5, because if Akhilesh ends up with 4, 5 or 6 seats, because what the exit poll says he's even losing Kannauj. If Akhilesh loses Kannauj and ends up with 3 or 4 seats out of 80, you have 4 seats. You are not a power any longer, and that will severely impact your assembly elections, because assembly elections are 2 years down the line. If that is the perception which is going, that you are not able to
So who's the alternative? It's not the Congress, it's not Mayawati, it's not. These are all former chief ministers, okay?
In fact, even at a nationally, Rishabh, everybody has got together. You have played the biggest bet of your life. You got everybody together. UPA was not what the current dispensation is. UPA is different from India Alliance. UPA was a group of parties. India Alliance is everybody in the position. And if everybody put together, you cannot defeat Modi ji, and Modi ji comes with 400 par, then you have to really go back to drawing board, because I think if that is the number, I think most of them have to kiss goodbye to national politics and be like BJD and be confined to their state.
Okay, Syed, your interjection quickly, then I have a question for Priya.
Yes, Rishabh Saab, we need to largely understand in the case of Andhra Pradesh, there is a strong anti-incumbency which is there, which against the YSRCP and of course Jagan Mohan Reddy. The fact is the coming together of BJP, Pawan Kalyan and also Chandrababu Naidu TDP is working like a magic potion for them, and they are looking good to form the large majority. Also, we need to understand that Jagan made many promises, but he was not able to deliver. So I met a couple of people from Andhra Pradesh, and I can tell you the youth is certainly not happy, because Andhra Pradesh is again a state with the highest number of unemployment percentage. Also coming to Nitish Kumar, he is one guy you cannot trust. I'm sure, knowing the knowledge and political acumen and experience of Narendra Modi ji, Nitish Kumar will be the last guy that you trust. Biggest palturam we've seen in the electoral politics of the year.
But Dr. Abbas, let's be realistic. We all know where it's going. What Himanshu ji and Sumit ji are alluding to is pretty well known. That the conversation with Nitish is not you stay in the state and give us your votes of your MPs. It's about that we need to come in the state. You are in trouble. Correct. You've been there for 15 years. It's not happening again for you. The best retirement for you is to come to the center, and of course then it's a face-saving retirement where you have political influence versus zero. Priya, just look at now the politics of Uttar Pradesh. Does it look like the BJP is going to dominate it for the next 10 years?
Next 10 years, definitely, because whatever earlier on, if you look at the center, the argument really is, we have age on our side, how long will Modi continue? But in UP, the battle, if it is between Akhilesh Yadav and Yogi Adityanath. They're both the same age, so that age argument goes out of the window.
Why not Priyanka Gandhi?
Or Priyanka Gandhi, again same age group. Second thing is, and Priyanka hasn't yet actually even become an MP or an MLA from the state. So whoever the contenders are is basically these 3-4 people of that age group. Yogi has lowered the bar or raised the bar where the age is concerned, and also his hold on the state. As much as it is Prime Minister Modi's, UP is the only state where we heard about Yogi Adityanath. Also, it was a Modi-Yogi election everywhere. People on the ground, they were talking about the Prime Minister, but they were also talking about their Chief Minister. Only state in the entire country, except maybe Assam, in that sense, where the Chief Minister is so popular. So in that sense, I think the task for any other opposition party in Uttar Pradesh is going to be much, much tougher. There's already talk, if there is succession, whoever it is, Yogi's name is counted amongst them. Whoever the successor to Prime Minister Modi would be, Yogi has that going for him. He has the backing of the RSS. He has the backing of the religious political model of governance that the BJP is espousing. Okay. So given all those things, I think it's going to be very, very tough for any opposition leader to try and make a dent. Okay. And especially Rishabh, if he wins the next assembly elections, which is not too far away, 3-term Chief Minister running hat-trick, that's going to be a very tough,
yeah, but the thing is, who's there?
And it's the Prime Minister's model. Modi is also 3-term Chief Minister running who became Prime Minister.
I can't see now, in the near term, I can't see who's there to take him on. If it's not Akhilesh, who is certainly not the Congress, it's who? It might be the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's get Abhinandita back into this conversation. Abhinandita, you are not aspiring to be a regional party. You are convinced that the Aam Aadmi Party can indeed have national footprints. That's the aspiration and has been all along. But you've gone to all the places, Delhi, where you basically decimated the Congress. In Punjab, you decimated the Congress. The BJP was never a force in Punjab. In Goa, you stole vote share from the Congress. In Gujarat, you stole vote share from the Congress. In Haryana, you've taken away one seat. You might win it, might not win it, but that seat came from the opposition, from the Congress. Why not in UP?
Firstly, it is a fact that we are a national party. We don't aspire to be one. Of course, we want to be a bigger force eventually, but it's not to be speculated. We are indeed a national party, and we have all the right to actually have national aspirations. But another thing that you said earlier about Yogi ji and Modi ji, I think that this is a tricky one for the BJP now, because clearly what we saw on the ground as well, that there is some kind of confusion in the BJP cadres as well about having to choose between Modi ji and Yogi ji, especially in UP.
But why are they choosing in between them?
Why? Yogi ji.
Sorry?
But they're fighting together. They're not in opposition.
I know they're not in opposition, but there is some kind of, internal, because people in UP we actually met people who said, we don't want to vote for Modi ji because that will mean the end of Yogi ji, and this is for real. Because there is some dynamic in UP like that. There is the people are concerned what will happen after Narendra Modi ji retires. All that is true. That did percolate on the ground as well, and
at least there is a debate, Abhinandita, on what will happen if Narendra Modi retires, versus it doesn't seem that any debate in the Congress. You never ask the Congress what will happen if Rahul Gandhi retires. Why don't we discuss that as well? Quick interjection, Abhijit ji.
I have a very clear perception. The man who came to disrupt Indian politics. It's your term, Rushabh. You have been using that. Disruption in Indian politics. From 2014 to 24.
Yogi, Arvind, Rahul, Arvind is the disruptor. Okay, no doubt.
Who came down to disrupt Indian politics.
But he has disrupted Indian politics.
I'll tell you. Has created.
He's the third force. He's the non-Congress, non-BJP rising force. So he has disrupted Indian politics.
But then he has brought about so huge a social differentiation in the fabric of this country that they have been talking about. I'll give you an example to substantiate my claim. In 2022, they won popular vote of 12%, 14% in Gujarat. In 2024, that popular vote, we will see now.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
But that is what is a disruptive politics. Certain elements of the society.
But my question is not that they're disrupting the BJP. There's a problem for the BJP 10 years from now. There are a problem for the Congress today.
Yes.
The Aam Aadmi Party decimated the Congress in Delhi, not the BJP. They decimated the Congress in Punjab. They are trying to decimate the Congress in Punjab right now as we speak. Abhinandita will tell you that they want to win the elections in Punjab, and most of their opponents are from the Congress party. That's the truth. Sumit, quickly, then I'll go back to Ms. Mathur.
ऋषभ जी, एक कहावत है हिंदी में, I always keep on repeating this. केजरीवाल जी की कोठी वहाँ बनती है जहाँ कांग्रेस का महल रहता है, उसी की ईंट गाड़ा लेके अपनी कोठी बना देते हैं. That is exactly what has been happening.
But that means he's disrupted them.
He has disrupted Congress.
He is the third force.
But the challenge,
he seems to have a better footprint then a Mamata Banerjee, then an Akhilesh, then a DMK and MK Stalin.
I'll slightly disagree with you, Rishabh ji. You look, if you talk of Mamata Didi or if you talk of DMK, if DMK ends up getting 25-30 seats, right? There are 7% of the total seats at the national level. But if Kejriwal ji ends up getting 3 seats of 573, I don't know what kind of a force he is. You have to win seats to become a power. Na? Seat nahi aayegi to power kahan se banoge?
Okay, for obvious reasons. Abhinandita, you take it first, then I'll go to Sayyid ji. Yes.
Yeah. No, you were saying कि यहाँ पे कांग्रेस की नींद, that we stole Congress's vote share, we stole Congress's vote share here and there. We've actually managed to, steal Narendra Modi ji's need, and which is why they're really after us. And this small party like the Aam Aadmi Party has, it's belittled all the time. The way in which Mr. Modi is after this small party, I think that tells a story itself.
Okay, all right. Quickly, Priya also wants to make a point. Okay, Dr. Abbas, 1 second. Priya, go ahead.
We spent half of this debate talking about Mr. Kejriwal, just saying.
We are giving you courtesy also. No, you're with us this morning. And the evening is going to be about somebody else. All right. Do forgive us. Don't say Godi media then in the evening. Okay. It'll be mean. Okay, Priya, go ahead.
No, sorry, Rishabh. No, my point was that, where the opposition is concerned, I'm sorry, I'm going to bring Kejriwal up again. If you see the leader who has lost the most, it would be Arvind Kejriwal, even though he's fighting I think maybe the minimum number of seats. I haven't done that maths, but I think he is 22 seats is the Aam Aadmi Party's quota. But he has made it all about himself, the fact that he took on the Prime Minister. But at the end of the day, he is the one who is now, if you look at the future of the Aam Aadmi Party, and he's got the next big test is the Delhi Assembly. Also, apart from Haryana, that is really going to be one big election that's coming up. So he's put his own future at stake along with that of the opposition. He hasn't, in terms of won many friends. Also in Punjab, we've seen his own allies are bitter against him. In Delhi, the truce, if the Congress loses the seats in Delhi, they're going to be blaming Arvind Kejriwal more than they're going to be blaming BJP. So the future for the Aam Aadmi Party, nobody blames themselves. They can't blame Rahul Gandhi. How many times can he come out and say sorry at the end of the day, Rishabh? So I think there's going to be a whole lot of churning. I think the opposition space, I know, of course, we will be talking about the BJP and why they won, but it's going to be a lot of the drama and the theatrics is going to be taking place in the opposition.
Okay, Dr. Abbas, quick interjection. I'm expecting Prithviraj Chavan to join us. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, quick 30 seconds. So the fact is, when we speak of the Aam Aadmi Party, it reminds me of this beautiful debate between Amit Shah ji and Raghav Chadha, where Amit Shah ji said, "Ye Supari Jitni Party," and Raghav Chadha comes back and says that Ye Supari Jitni Party is able to become India's fastest political startup in the last 10 years with not one but two states.
I've said it 3 times already this morning. Yes, the past 10 years have been the Modi era, but it has also been the sub-stories have been the rise of Arvind Kejriwal. Is he a disruptor? Absolutely. Yes, but who's he disrupting? He's not disrupting the BJP.
No,
he's disrupting the Congress. I mean, you heard Sandeep Dixit mention this 2 days ago. He said, we are the ones who filed the case against Arvind Kejriwal. Okay? That's the truth.
He's disrupting the Delhi. The Bharatiya Janata Party is not able to grow its Delhi number. They're ruling all over India. But Delhi mein, Dilwalon ki Delhi mein, capital of India, you're not able to beat the Aam Aadmi
But they might
Party.
win all 7 seats again. We don't know. We don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out because it's 8 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, and 8 o'clock means that officially the counting has begun. And despite, of course, various demands by the opposition, we'll start getting in numbers. The first is going to be the postal ballot round, which is going to be taking place this morning. There are going to be several rounds, about 10, 12 rounds of counting take place. How the process works is that at the end of every round of counting, which is a set of EBMs counting, the polling booth officer posts the results, physically posts the results, chipkaos them outside the counting station. We have people on the ground tracking them. The Election Commission published this is on their website, so you can refer from them. But they're going to be slightly behind us because they have to go through a whole lot more of verification. We can see the results immediately and telecast them. So you're going to see the numbers populating on your screens very rapidly. Take them with a pinch of salt for the next 1 hour because they're postal ballot results. They stabilize around 10:30, 11. That's what experience has taught us.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.